All right, welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and I am going to be doing some more sealed gameplay of Star Wars Unlimited this morning. So, as always, I like to, on Saturdays, just play some sealed here on Forcetable.net, where we're going to get 6 packs of the Spark of Rebellion set, build a 30 card deck out of it, and play against the AI for a few times, hoping to get 3 wins. Um, Now, this is one of the fun things on Force Table where you can play Star Wars Unlimited as cards get released, they get added, and you can mostly play against AI opponents, building your deck. But the sealed portion is actually only available for members of their Patreon, sorry, where you can kind of get in there and get these types of formats and see some more improvements in the game. One of the fun things about doing sealed on here is that they do increase the difficulty. So every time you're playing in a sealed tournament, the AI actually gets a little bit more life. So you'll see an increase in life as we continue to play against the AI here. But let's just kind of get to it. This is the taking place on December 9th, so there were a couple cards released this week. I want to say there was about 6 cards released. Really excited for a few of them because they're like capital starships, so I think that's going to be great. We saw a couple of other smaller units come into play. We saw the Cantina Bouncer, which I think is really interesting and has generated some talk from me. But let's go ahead and see if we get any of these like fun cards here this week in our sealed packs. So let's just jump to it and start opening. All right, open our packs. Let's see what we get into pack 1. The IG-88 as the leader here. IG-88's good. If I'm sure we'll get some better options. I've had some sealed drafts where I ended up somehow with 3 of these guys. So I think IG-88 maybe just one of those really common leaders we see in packs. 5 cost to get out there. Okay ability. His attack and his defense is decent, 5-4, and he has 3 traits. So there may be a lot more you can do with IG-8 here in the future, but for right now, he's kind of mid-level. So a basic 30 cost yellow location or base, sorry. So let's just go ahead and move on and see what we got this pack. I do see a couple of the new cards. Green Squadron A-Wing, always excited to try to run this. It's red and white, so we'll see what we get there. This would be really helpful if we can see like a Leia, who's going to give us white and green, and if we splash red, this is a really good unit for her. Vanquish, a great event to deal with units. Open Fire, another one. Resupply to give us a little bit of ramp. A Repair and an Infiltrator skill. Good 1-cost cards, but usually cards that don't make the cut in the deck unless you really can build around it some more. Disabling Fang Fighter is great. Here's one of the newer cards that ended up getting released late last week, so the last week of November. Battlefield Marine. A 2-cost unit that's a 3/3, just vanilla. I think that's really great. It is command and heroism, so green and white. So you will have to be playing those colors to get that good value of the 2/2. Oh, sorry, for 2. But yeah, I think it's a great card. I actually like the art a lot. Just kind of showing another battle, probably on Scarif to kind of match like the Shore Troopers and Death Troopers, those types of things. But really good looking card. Gladiator Star Destroyer. This is great in your sealed pool. 6 costs, 5/6. Sorry. 6 cost, 5/6, and the ability to give a unit sentinel is really solid. You can really disrupt your opponent's game plan that turn. You're getting a good body in there, and you can give unit to any. Sorry, you can give a sentinel to any unit in any space. So whether it's ground or the space arena, you can kind of pick. We also got Sabine Wren. This is another good one if we can get that Leia. We can build around that a bit. But Sabine says when there are at least 3 aspects among other friendly units, this unit can't be attacked unless she gains Sentinel. You may deal 1 damage to the defender or to a base on attack. So, really good for a 2-3. Sabine Wren, Explosive Artist. We'll definitely see some more Sabines here in this game, I'm sure, as it goes on. With seeing, Sabine, Leader of Mandalore, Sabine, Jedi in training, things like that. And I hope when we do, we can see some similar effects from previous cards. For example, this is Sabine Explosive Artist. It would be kind of neat if that's something she keeps, or maybe she keeps the 3 aspect thing going forward. But yeah, it's really great to kind of see her as a leader and a unit. And I think we're obviously going to be seeing that a lot more as the game continues now that we've seen more cards revealed that way. Bosk is another great one in sealed and constructed. That ambush ability really is helpful, as well as just playing events after he's in play to just deal 2 damage to a unit. So great little card here. Love to see it. And Cantina Bouncer. So this card was released this week. I've said it on a couple of streams already. I don't think it's amazing. I do think it's good, but I don't think it's great. And again, this just has to do with if I am playing double yellow, I guess I'm playing this card. But it's really hard for me to want to play this card for anything more than 5. So you really want to be dedicated to that double yellow space. You're paying 5 for a 3/5 with the ability to bounce a non-leader unit to the hand. Okay, you're paying 5 for a body and an event. I get it. It has 5 defense. It's good, but I guess I just kind of want to see it be a little bit better, either up that attack or up the defense. If I'm paying 5, I just want a little bit more. Again, this is not going to be anyone's first choice, I think, for a lot of decks. But if you are playing double yellow, it's the right choice. Chimera. So Chimera, great ship, 8 costs. I don't think I've played this in sealed format yet, but it's an 8/7 that comes into play with the shield. And when you attack, you name a card. Opponent reveals their hand, discards a card with that name from it. So even without using like other cards like Imperial Probe Droids or Thrawn, you can still take advantage of the Chimera every time it attacks to get some more hand knowledge of what your opponent has. And if they're not playing all those cards, then you're going to be able to discard it. It's going to force your opponent every time probably get rid of things in their hand, so they're not discarding it. So they may be, throwing cards into their resource pool, even though they would rather play it because they know there's no chance they're going to get to use it because of Chimera in play. So I think it's a good card. Obviously, it's better to be built around, but it's not bad for dropping it in after you have 8 resources. Let's move on to the next pack and see what we get here. There she is, Leia Organa. Really hoping we get some more build around her. So Leia here, if you're unfamiliar, is a leader unit with Raid 1. She's a 3/6, and she comes out when you have 5 resources. Now her leadership ability when she's in play, or when she's in the ground arena, is when this unit completes an attack, you may attack another rebel unit. That's really great. Similarly, when she is not in an arena, you can exhaust her leadership card, and you can have 2 rebel units attack during the same action. So either way, she's definitely giving you some speed advantage there. She's breaking the game by where you can only have 1 action, and then you pass to your opponent, they're getting 2 actions. That's what makes Leia really good. If you can get the right tools to build around her in sealed, you're definitely going to go fast, and you just want to make sure you're generating enough tempo. Now, it may not be as good as like a 50 card deck that's constructed, but you can definitely get some things going really well here. So hopefully we get enough to build around Leia. We haven't seen too much green, but we're only in pack 2. We got a basic red location, which is helpful if we end up going with the red idea with Leia. We got an Alliance X-Wing, which is also good. It's going to have that Rebel trait, which is going to be very important. The Resilient, which is okay. No Good to Me Dead. Another really good card. Love to see this. It does go into black, so We don't have any black locations yet. So this may be a card, if we do end up playing, it's going to cost us 4, which is not really the direction I want to go. Scout Bike Pursuer. This is a great card. I'm really excited to play this one. It's 2 with 2 different aspects, Vigilance and Villainy, blue and black, and it's a 1/4 with Grit. So Grit, again, is when a unit is damaged, it starts to increase its damage it does, no matter what. So it doesn't have to be on attack, it just permanently has this static ability. So if you can get this Imperial Trooper up to 3 damage, it's going to be hitting for 4, and that's pretty great. So I like this card a lot. I'm really surprised, though, they didn't give the Scout Bike Pursuer any type of like ambush or untap ability. I think that kind of would have been neat, the idea of like it's pursuing and it's faster than a regular ground unit. It is Imperial, it is Trooper, but it is not vehicle. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is this is not going to get your vehicle triggers as your play. So 7th Fleet Defender is really great. So 3 cost, 2 aspect unit, comes into play with the shield. It's good. Consular Security Force, this is another good one. It's a 3/7 for 4. There's nothing else happening here, but when you're paying 4 in double aspects, that extra 7 is really good. It does also have the Rebel ability and the Trooper ability. So you can not only trigger Leia's stuff, you can get a couple of other Imperial things if you wanted to, like General Tag, and take advantage of that Trooper. Another Trooper's Ardent Sympathizer. Of course, if we get to play some red, a Sympathizer goes in there. Just really good when you have the initiative, it becomes a 5/3, so why not? Wampa, basic, 4/5, nothing to brag about here. The Partisan Insurgent's another good one if we can go that red. It's a 1/4, but once we have red units in play, it gets Raid 2. And Raid is different than Grit. Raid is where you only get attacking bonuses when you attack. So where Grit increases your attack for every damage you have on your unit. So Distant Controller, good one, but you got to be playing a lot of blue. Bright Hope. So 4 cost, Rebel Vehicle Transport, a unique unit, the last transport right there out of the Hoth scene. Comes in and play as a 2/6 with Sentinel, and when played, return a friendly non-leader ground unit to its owner's hand if you do draw a card. So it literally has the transport ability to save someone who may have too much damage on them. It's great. Lieutenant here is really good if we see some more blue. And Callus ends up being our large rarity here. Callus is great. He is Imperial and Trooper, and I'm sure we'll see a Rebel Callus in the future. But right now, that's kind of where we're at when it comes to him. But that ambush ability is good, and the ability to draw cards whenever your opponent loses a unique unit is really great. Let's move on to the next pack. Skipping the foil there. A second Leia. There we go. And a Super Laser Technician. This is great. Skipping a couple other cards there. The Technician is great ramp to get us further where we need to go. And I do see a couple other cards that are going to help us with the Leia build that we're going to go through. So in this pack, a Super Laser Technician, which is good if we end up building more Imperial. The Viper Probe Droid, we kind of already talked about that discard ability that can help with the Chimera we got in that first pack. But this Super Laser Technician can be really helpful. If we end up going Leia, though, we're not going to have a villainy aspect, and we're going to end up paying 5 for this unit. 5 for that kind of ramp may be too much, but again, we're in limited format, and just getting rid of that card, advancing yourself a little bit more than your opponent can make a big difference. So we got a Consortium Star Viper here, 3 cost, Fringe Vehicle Fighter. As long as we have initiative, we have Restore. Another Partisan Insurgent. This is kind of another reason why I'm still leaning towards that red and playing Leia in our build. A Tactical Advantage to give +2/+2 for the phase. Really good. Another Disabling Fang Fighter to remove upgrades. Our first Restored ARC. We haven't seen a lot of blue support, so this may not be a card we actually use, but it is good for a 2 cost 2/3. It is limiting with those double aspects, which is why we may not be able to touch it, because paying 4 for this may not necessarily be worth it, but luckily that Restore ability is going to be triggered every time. It isn't conditional like what we see with the Star Viper. So we're not going to have to keep the initiative with the Restored, which is great. Basic TIE fighter, a smuggling compartment to give you +1/+1, and then when you attack with the vehicle, you can ready a resource. So good for tempo. A TIE advance. This is only, yeah, no, it's really good if you're playing Imperial, and it's okay as a starship. Not something you want to play without having Imperial units in play. You really want to take advantage of 2 experience tokens, especially because they go on like the same unit and you don't have to split them up. So you really just need one more, and it can really make a big difference. You know, when we see things like TIE Fighter and TIE Advance, buffing up a TIE Fighter to a 4/3 makes it such a threat after that. Oh, we got a Greedo here. Probably not going to go in that direction, but it's a 3/1, and we'll see. You know, he's a good 1-cost card, and the discard ability is a May, so it doesn't have to hurt you and limited. Akbar here is a must when you play Leia. So restore 1 on attack, 1/4. His stats are decent for the cost. But when you play him, you deal damage to a unit equal to the number of units you control in its arena. So I think that's really great. You just, as long as you're even playing Akbar, you have 1 to deal 1 damage to an opponent in a ground arena, or you can count your starships and do the same thing in the space arena. Really great. Love this Akbar. He's definitely a threat. And then our foil was Emperor Palpatine, 6/6 Overwhelm, and when you play them, he can deal 6 damage divided as he would like among enemy units. So, great card. Probably not where we're going to go, but 3 packs left. Let's see what we build here. Oh, the Wookiee pack. And here we go, Boba Fett. So finally a different leader. So far we've seen Leia, and IG-88. We're getting a different option here with yellow and black, which is cunning and villainy aspects. So Boba Fett, when he is a leader on the field, when he attacks and after he completes it, if an enemy unit left play this phase, ready up to 2 resources. So as long as you have removed or destroyed a unit in play, then after he completes his attack, you can do this ability. Boba does not have to be the one to remove the unit himself, which is really great. So it's essentially just checking the board for that. And if you can trigger Boba Fett a couple times using something like Admiral Mahdi, that's really good because you could ready up, 2 additional resources. This is not limited, which I think is really cool. But Boba Fett's good. He's a 4/7. He comes out after 5 resources. The ability he has when they are not in the ground arena is you can exhaust them to ready a resource as long as the unit has left play this turn, or this phase. We do get the blue generic base. Nothing there. We haven't seen a lot of blue support, but we'll see what these next 3 packs really do. We get the gunship here. This is one we may lean into if we end up going yellow with Leia. 3/4 ambush. Again, ambush is just going to give us a little bit more of that advantage, and that's really important. Imperial Interceptor. Great card. Comes into play and deals 3 damage to a space unit. Just the idea that it can kind of protect itself, clear that arena a little bit, especially in limited where you may not see as many ships. Just really good. So its stats are decent too. It hits hard, and that too makes it just a little bit harder to deal with for opponents not playing anything big like Darth Vader, getting their Bosk out, those types of things. So Waylay, just return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. That's always great. Consortium Star Viper, again, really leaning into that green. Mission Briefing, really good. Maybe the reason why we play a little bit more than 30 cards. A second Green Squadron Air Wing makes me really excited. We saw this in the first pack, and again, this really fits Leia very well. It's a Rebel Vehicle Fighter, has 3 defense, hits for 1, but has raid, so increases its attack when it attacks. And I think that's really solid, can really stay on the board. Cantina Braggart might be one way we go. Raid 2, so it's a 0/3. Just maybe an option for us. Let's take a look. We have Medal Ceremony. This card I think is interesting. I don't know how much constructed play it'll see, but you give an experience token to each of up to 3 rebel units that attack this phase. So with Leia, you're not going to be slowed by playing this card, but with other decks, it's kind of like you need to give wait at least 3 actions to play it. Where Leia, you can get this done after about 2 actions. So Yoda, again, not really seeing the blue here, so we're gonna continue on. Another smuggling compartment, a shoot first, and a home one. So home one's our other unique rebel flagship here. This is one of the large Mon Calamari starships, and I love this art. I won't lie, this art just intrigues me so much. It's one of my favorite pieces I've seen. I think it's different from a lot of the other cards out there, but this capital ship is just so good looking. Big fan. Love the fight going on. Really reminds me of how I visualized Star Wars when I was younger, and just thinking about all these great space battles. And I feel like this is one of the best pieces of art out there. I'd love to see this on a playmat, or see what this card will look like in their showcase. What are they called? The hyperspace set, hyperspace art. So really excited to see that. But it's 8 resources, 7/7, hits the Rebel tagline, has Restore 2, and gives Restore 1 to every other unit you have, no matter their arena. So, and when you play, you may put a heroic unit from your discard pile. You may put them into play. Doesn't matter if they're ground or space, and they just have to cost 3 less. So, really great card. Really great. We also get another Waylay. Let's move pack 5. Okay, there we go. Another leader, Director Krennic. So Krennic is 5 resources to put out. He has Restore 2, so when he attacks, he'll heal. His basic stats are okay. He can stay in the field for a bit with that 7 defense. And he gives each friendly damage character +1/+0. And that's also what they do when they are not in the arena. They'll give your friendly damage units +1/+0. So Krennic's good. You really want to build around him. We haven't seen the blue support. You also want to see the iconic Death Troopers that follow Krennic, as we saw like in the Rogue One movies. So their ability to just enter play, damage a unit, to deal 2 damage to an opponent's unit is really good, because they'll usually damage themselves, and they already hit for 3. So with Krennic, they'll be able to hit for a little bit more. We got the basic red base, which we did want to see one of those. A Cell Block Guard, great card for villainy. Here's a new one we just released, I believe late last week. Academy Trading. 2 cost upgrade, +2/+2, only 1 aspect. Good. It's a good card. It's one of the few things we haven't really seen for green. We haven't seen these upgrades yet coming for them that weren't vehicle focused. And I like that this one is just, it can go on anyone. It's +2/+2. It only costs 2 and doesn't have that double aspect penalty. So as long as you have 1 green, it's not bad. Especially on the cards you want to protect. If you're looking at like an Akbar or Agent Callus, those are 2 really good green cards people would want to protect for a bit. So Snapshot Reflexes. You may attack with attach unit, give them a +1/+1. I'm a fan. I don't think we really have the yellow support to go into it, but I'm a fan. Another Viper Droid to look at opponent's hand. The Guild TIE Fighter is a good one in this format. So drawing cards is really going to help anyone in a limited format. You may have turns where you just don't have anything to play, so that using 2 of your resources to draw, really helpful. Another Repair, another Resilient. These cards are good, but really in sealed, you'll find yourself kind of skipping them and moving on. If you need the color, if you're playing those colors, go back to them. But as far as your open packs, they're nothing to like build around. Another Outer Rim Headhunter gives raid 1. It's a 1/3, pretty cool. On attack, if you control a leader unit, you may exhaust a non-leader unit. So I like Headhunter. You really want to make sure you have a good board state and your leader has enough health to take advantage of this ability. But it is 2 costs. It's only 1 aspect and it's a 1/3, so it's not a bad unit to put into play before you get a leader. So Syndicate Lackeys, great card. 5 attack, 5 cost, 1 aspect, has ambush. It's good. It can be a staple when you're playing yellow for sure. Overwhelming Barrage, one of my favorite cards. I doubt we're going to play it until we start seeing some more villainy bases come into play. So I probably won't play this one in the deck so far. But you can give a friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase, and then it deals damage equal to its power divided as you choose among any other number of units. So this card is great at just clearing the board, setting you back up to what you need, putting your opponent on tilt. And again, this art looks great. Star Destroyer just massively taking down 2 medical frigates by itself, really great. A Force Choke, a Bosk, a Lightsaber, good cards. Let's move on. Final pack. Second Boba Fett, a non-basic blue, so give a shield token to a non-leader unit with security complex. All fun there. I think it's like our 4th resilient. Security force, another no good to me dead, another vanquish. I think our 3rd TIE fighter, our 2nd restored, a 2nd ardent, a Death Star stormtrooper, Outer Rim headhunter. That's our 2nd one of those. An Admiral Piet. Now Piet can be fun, so but again, he does have that villainy aspect which we may not be building around. But each friendly non-leader unit that costs 6 or more gains ambush. Now you have cards in your deck like Home 1 and the Chimera. This card can really change it in a sealed format. So another TIE Advance, which again you really want to go Imperial to make that work. A Bosk, a Han Solo. So Han is fun. Han's fun. If we go that yellow route, we get the 7 costs. He has Ambush as a 6/6. We've already talked about why Ambush is so good. And 6/6 is stout. They really give Han some good toughness here, playing more into that like he's lucky evasive type maneuver, because Han is not someone who can take that many hits. You know what? I take that back. He was tortured in episode 5 and came out of that all right. By all right, I mean, frozen in carbonite for probably over 6 months and had some partial blindness there, had to recover. But either way, he didn't die. And so, he is tougher than I guess I should give him credit for. While attacking, this unit deals combat damage before the defender. Great. Han always shoots first. And a 3rd TIE Advance. So, all right, let's get to it. Let's take a quick look at our sealed pool. And then we'll just go from there. So double Leia, double Boba Fett. Really our options here. I've been talking about going Leia, green, white, and going in some red. The other option would be green, white, yellow. But I think we're going to have some good red here. I love these Bosks. These are great. But again, we don't have those black locations yet. So we'd have to pretty much play Boba if we want to play those Bosks. These sympathizers are good. We do get access to Admiral Akbar pretty easily. The Katina Braggart, the Partisan Insurgents. Now remember, what we're looking for is rebels, and I feel like we're seeing enough rebels already. So, Loyal Insurgent here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're seeing about 6 rebel units in our ground. That's pretty good. As far as space, we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. These Green Squadron A wings are really what's encouraging me to do this. So again, that 1-3 with Raid 2, really great. Okay, we're seeing enough rebel units, honestly, that we can continue down this road. So even in just the colors we're playing, that's going to give us 3, 4, 5. That's really good. Go a little bit further here. We are going to get access to mission briefing and open fire, which is great. This medal ceremony is going to help us out a lot when we go rebel. We do get the resupplies and some tactical advantages, so that's going to be good as well. These 2 waylays and these 2 vanquishes are really nice, but again, I think Leia is going to be the more fun build. So let's just build that real quick. If for some reason we're not liking it, a second option would just be a complete rebuild and go with that Boba Fett. Again, we're seeing the Bosks. We're seeing some good yellow support here. Boba's yellow-black, so we can easily add something like green and go from there. All right, let's build the deck. Leia Organa, Alliance General. So again, just a reminder here, she has an action where you can attack with a rebel unit, and then you can attack with another rebel unit. So our job here is to just take advantage of this and break some game rules as we play. All right, it's giving me the Administrator's Tower. We're going to get rid of that. Go to the Catacombs. Okay. Building the deck. Well, we definitely want these sympathizers because they're rebel. Or they're not rebel, but they're good. They're just good. This Battlefield Marine, though, is Partisan Insurgent. They are rebel, and they do get stronger when you have more red units in play. Sabine Wren. Mandalorian, Rebels, and probably eventually Jedi. Also gets that Spectre ability. And I think we're going to go ahead and play Callus. Callus is really good. And again, this ambush ability sets us up really well, and he can draw cards as long as we're defeating unique units. So let's jump into space. An Alliance X-Wing just as a 2/3 rebel unit. The Bright Hope to give us some more Sentinel and a little bit of, maybe protecting one of our units who's already damaged. The Green Squadron A-Wings have to go in. Great rebel units, low cost, and home 1. All right, before we come back to some of these units, we're sitting at 13. Let's go ahead and look at some of our other upgrades and events to see what we definitely want to play. Let's go to the events first. Mission briefing, yes, getting that card advantage is going to help us a lot. Open fire to deal with opponents, units that we can't hit very easily. Resupply to give us a little bit further ahead than our opponents. And yeah, I guess we would go for the medal ceremony because we are playing some units, and we would play the tackle advantage. So 6 events, a little heavy, giving us around 11 more cards to play with. So now we'll go back to some of the units and see where we want to fill this in. So the Braggart's a 1 cost for 0/3 with raid 2. He does help with the Partisan Insurgents. He's just not a rebel or a trooper. I think we can take the Cantina Braggart just because it has a really good stats for low cost. All right. We have 2 different types of fighters here. One's going to heal our base as long as we have initiative. 3/3 for 3. It's not bad. It's very fair. It's very good, honestly. It's the only problem is you just have to have initiative, but with a Leia deck, we should always be going quicker than our opponents. The next one is the Fang Fighter, which is more utility based. So being able to defeat upgrades is pretty good. I think for right now, I'm just going to add 1 and 1. Putting us at 22. We'll probably end up filling up our deck with it, just because we do not have... We're only at 22 cards, and we need 8 more to build it. And we've kind of added already a lot of cards. So we'll probably end up having to go back and add those. So let's go ahead and add Academy Training to give us that bonuses. The bonus. We'll do the same thing, Infiltrator Skill. Infiltrator Skill is going to give Saboteur. So it's going to be able to get past units with Sentinel and opponent's shields. And it's a +1/+1. It's a fair card. It's also cards we don't mind playing as resources. So... all right. Well, that's mostly all the cards. So we're going to have to go to Out of Aspect to fill in a little bit more. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going to make sense. Now, when you're playing Out of Aspect, I'm glad this situation's come up. If you're going to play Out of Aspect, obviously you want to make sure one of the cards is an aspect you're playing, so you're not paying for 4 extra than you need to. With most of our setup, we really want some low-cost units, so anything that costs more than 2 is probably going to be out of range for us because we're probably going to be paying 4 for it. So let's take a look at Rebel cards because Rebel's going to get us there a little bit further. Let's see. Yoda Old Master is going to be a 5 cost if we play them, but they're not Rebel, they're just Force and Jedi. Lothal Insurgent could get us there, no problem. 3/2, if you play another card this phase, each opponent draws a card, then discards 1. Okay. That is a maybe. I want to say that's really it. That's the only Rebel card in ground. Okay, so that makes the cut. Going to space, same thing here. We really want to find low-cost units because we are going to be playing that out-of-aspect penalty. So we can go with the restored, which is a May. We got to do 2 more cards here. We may also just go ahead and play one of the big cards, just as a bomb, just to have as an option here. All right, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do, unless there's a different thing in here we really want. But Overwhelming Stampede is good though. Not Overwhelming Stampede, Overwhelming Firepower. Overwhelming Stampede's a magic card that gives all your creatures +3/+3 and trample till the end of turn. So way different, way different. All right, well, let's just go ahead and add the restored ARCs. These are both going to be Rebel units that we're going to pay 4 for. We did get to our 30, and a lot of cards that are going to be out of aspect will probably be resource options. So it's not bad. All right, let's go ahead and save and close, and let's just get into it. First game. All right, no mulligans. You know, a lot of times when we're playing, I just prefer not to mulligan, just to deal with the cards we have in hand. In a formal constructed tournament, anything like that, I would always mulligan and advise for it. But in here, we're just playing for fun, so might as well just play with what we got and go from there. So, sealed pool, our opponent's playing Boba Fett. Again, Boba Fett, when they complete an attack, as long as the enemy unit has left play this phase, they can ready up to 2 resources. Now when Boba is not a actual unit, and he is just a leader, when an enemy unit leaves play, they can exhaust the leader, and if they do, ready 1 resource. So Boba comes out at 5. All right, no mulligan from me. We do have that ARC that can't come out till turn 4 because it's out of our spot. And we don't really have anything we can play this turn. I'm actually going to get rid of the... Man, I think this Metal Ceremony can come in handy, so I'm going to keep it. I'll get rid of it. I have no rebels in hand at this moment. Might as well just get rid of it. Play for the turn. The opponent plays Admiral Piet, and each friendly non-leader unit that costs 6 or more gains ambush. We got 4 turns to worry about that card. Nothing else for us to do. We're going to take the initiative, allowing us to go first next turn. All right, we are given Academy training, a Consortium Star Viper. Definitely going to be playing that. We're going to have to get rid of 1 card here. I think we will get rid of the Infiltrator skill. Yep. Definitely playing a little bit of a space match early on. Not a problem. We'll play the Star Viper, see what our opponent does. They play an ISB agent, revealing an event. So ISB agent, because of that, when you play it, you reveal an event, deal 1 damage to a unit. Unit can be in any arena available. So that's what happens here. With nothing left to do, we'll just go ahead and take the initiative. And our opponent plays a Viper Droid to look at our hand. Admiral Piet hits us for 1, leaving us at 29, our opponent at 30. And we're at 5 cards right now, and our opponent has 4. Both of us are going to give up 1 for a resource. So, card advantage, me. Let's get rid of the Fang Fighter. We're finally getting that ground board we've been hoping for with a couple of Rebel units, which is great. Let's play... I really want to take advantage of these, but I want to keep our spaceship in play a little bit longer, and Academy training can go on anyone. Which is great. Boba plays an Academy training on the Viper Droid, making it a 5/5. I played on the Star Viper, making it a 5/5. So we both pretty much gave Academy training to 2 things that aren't necessarily Academy trained. So you would say the argument here would be the Viper Probe Droid, but the Viper Probe Droid is more Academy programmed. If we were going to get into semantics here. Okay, cool. They drop us to 22 after they hit us with that probe droid. We're gonna have to put some units into play. Let's start with the one with the bigger toughness, the Partisan Insurgent. So it's a 1/4. Piet's probably gonna swing into the base, as well as that ISB agent. They only hit for 1 though. We'll take the initiative. And we have our open fire to deal with that Viper probe droid next turn. Ooh, these are all great cards. Here we got the Rebel Trooper that we can play, Sabine as another Rebel card, and the Green Squadron A-Wing. So let's drop the Sympathizer, since we can't use Leia's ability for that right now anyway. Let's go ahead and get that restored ability. Nope, we should probably play Open Fire. That's the best play. Open Fire is going to go on the Probe Droid, its biggest hitter. Removing that. Out comes their own Star Viper. I don't think we'll let them get that initiative, though. Swing with ours to restore our base back to 22. They play the smuggling compartment on their base. Not a problem. We're going to go ahead and play Green Squadron A-Wing now. And out comes Boba Fett. Now, an enemy unit has not left play yet, but Boba's going to have enough firepower to deal with the Partisan. So we're going to have our Partisan swing on their base, dealing 3 damage, dropping it to 17. I think the only thing left to do is we can put Leia into play. But if we do, she is a 3/6, meaning Boba. Get close to taking her out. Let's pass and let's see what the... Well... Nope, let's just put her out. Let's put her out. Why not? Let's have fun with it. If the AI decides to swing, they swing. We'd rather keep the initiative, so we'll swing with Leia Organa. I'm actually going to put a little bit more pressure on Admiral Piet here, because this Admiral Piet ability will be triggered next turn. They will have 6 resources, and if after Piet plays anything that costs 6 or more, they'll gain ambush. So, all right, Boba Fett takes care of the Partisan Insurgent, and we're just going to take the initiative. Right, 3 Rebel units left. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the Ardent Sympathizer. As a reminder, we do have a big ship with Home 1 here at the end, costing 8. So we're going to kind of keep that open. We also have a Bright Hope, which is 5. So we're going to pretty much keep putting resources until we hit 8. Let's use Leia's ability. We didn't really use it when she was a base, but now she's in play. We can go ahead and attack with another Rebel unit. So... Leia will go ahead and swing, and we'll swing at the ISB agent. Let's remove that character from play. Hit for 4. Attack with another Rebel unit. Yes, please. Attack with Green Squadron A-Wing. It's going to hit for 2, or additional 2, so 3 total. And we're just going to swing right into their base. Putting some more pressure on them. Putting them at 14. AI plays Greedo with no other cards in play. So we are doing pretty well. We still got 3 more cards we can play on our turn. AI has no real answers on the board to deal with it. So let's play Sabine now. Now the opponent will go first next turn, but we'll be able to attack with 2 units, really putting the pressure on them. All right. We've played all our cards. We have 3 units in each arena. Opponent only has 3 units total. We'll play the Infiltrator skill, just in case we see another upgrade come into play, but we can deal with that smuggling department as well. All right. Opponent plays a Shore Trooper. We'll take advantage of that, and we will swing with Leia on the base to deal 3 damage, and that allows us to attack with another Rebel unit. We're going to choose Sabine, because we have at least 3 other aspects. Well, Sabine's only a hit for 3. Does anything hit for harder than that? Nope, nothing does. That's Rebel. And we'll just swing with Sabine anyway. She'll hit for 2, and then she'll be able to do her other ability of 1 for the base, which is a total of 3. Boba Fett swings, but it's really too late. This game is over. Well, I don't think we lost 1 unit. So, first sealed game. Really good, really fun. Really the only downside I had was in the beginning of just not having those Rebel units, so we didn't take advantage of Leia's quick early on strategy, but towards the end we really just out-tempoed our opponent. Just looking at this field, they didn't have much to deal with. They had 5 cards they played 3 of them were units, and they were pretty much all easy to kill. So low attack, so not really any threats. This was their biggest one, and we used our 1 kill event there. So good match, but let's see how game 2 goes. All right, game 2. We are fighting against the brand new Iden Verso. So Iden is from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 series, or sorry, Battlefront, 2 series. Great card. She is from Inferno Squadron. She's an Imperial Trooper, eventually turned Rebel. And let's see, Inferno Squadron Commander. So as an action, if an enemy unit was defeated this phase, heal 1 damage to your base. It's okay. You're paying 6 resources for a 4/4. You do want a little bit more out of this, but the card looks good. She has the right traits, the abilities, okay. And we can't expect every leader to be amazing. So Sealed is probably where we'll see her played a bit, unless we see a little bit more support in the blue and black aspects of the game. Now, taking a look at her leader ground unit cards, she does come into play with the shield, which I think is great. Really shows her, tactical knowledge here. So 4/4, okay, still good, but you had to use 6 wait till turn 6 to put them out. Keep in mind what other cards come out before that, right? IG-88 is going to come out before this card does. Leia is going to come out before this card does. And when this unit is defeated, when a unit is defeated, you still hit 1 damage for your base. So you kind of want to be able to take care of decks that go wide, and you can really take advantage of this ability. But we'll see. I think if we had her, I would try her in a sealed format, but nothing else like that. So, all right, no mulligan for me. Let's just go ahead and play. We'll get rid of the Saboteur, and I don't want to get rid of that home 1, especially with that resupply. So let's drop the Star Viper. Let's just see what happens. Next turn, I'll be playing the resupply anyway. So, Alliance X-Wing, please. And we'll take the initiative. Okay, this Akbar is great. Another Battlefield Marine. A lot of tough choices here. This Bright Hope is tempting me and tempting me. Wow. We'll drop the Partisan. This is tough. This is tough. No easy decisions, but you got to play for the turn. And as I say that, as I ramp, right? Oh, wow. So the Seasoned Stormtrooper is in play, and at 6 or more resources, it gets tougher. This is going to be in 3 more turns. But now the opponent played Homestead Militia. So now when they have 6 more resources, this card gets Sentinel. So we're definitely dealing with a deck that can ramp to 6 quickly, but gets stronger at 6 and harder to kill. So, let's go ahead and attack. Put some pressure on the base. Now keep in mind the base is stronger because of the way the sealed formats ran. So it has more health than it normally does. I'll take the initiative here. Now we're going to be 1 card ahead here. I think we're going to kind of go a little bit more into that space format. We can play 2 cards, or we can play Admiral Akbar. I think we're going to go ahead and play 2 cards. Green Squadron A-Wing comes into play. Oh, gross. That TIE Advance came in and put 2 experience counters on that Seasoned Stormtrooper. Not what we want to see. No good. No good. We're going to go ahead and play Akbar, and we're going to clear that space board. So let's deal 2 damage there, since we can choose any arena and deal damage to opponents in that same arena. We're going to take 4 to our base. Nothing pleasant there. Let's take the initiative. As a reminder, we're 1 resource ahead. Here we go. The Fang Fighter is perfect. This is one thing we wanted to see. Now we have to decide on getting rid of Callus or the Battlefield Marine. It's going to be the Marine because Callus gives us an ambush option, and this home 1 is going to really put that threat on the board. This is one of our bombs, so we can't afford to get rid of it. Or we shouldn't just, absent-mindedly get rid of it. So let's play the Fang Fighter first to get rid of these tokens. We'll get rid of both, or we'll get rid of 1, sorry. Death Trooper comes into play to deal 2 damage to a friendly ground unit and 2 damage to an enemy ground unit. Of course, they'll choose the Akbar. Remember, when enemy units defeated, they'll heal 1 damage from their base. And we've only done 4 damage total. Let's trigger Leia's ability. Attack with rebel units twice. Yes. I'm going to let Akbar go first. Akbar will put a little pressure on this base, and then we'll hit with the Green Squadron A-Wing. Now we can play Leia this turn, which is awesome, and swing with another X-Wing. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So, action ability, put Leia into play. They're going to play Snow Trooper Lieutenant, giving their Seasoned Short Trooper +2, swinging on our base for 5. Wow, they did exactly what we would want to do here. Leia's going to swing on the base, and we're going to do the same thing with the X-Wing. This is a race now. Now, we are a little bit behind, but Home 1 is coming out. Callus can give us that advantage, giving us a card. They're at 20, we're at 14. Let's pass. And we can drop the Sympathizers. Almost at Home 1, giving us all that restore. Out comes a TIE Advance, giving 2 more experience tokens on that Seasoned Shore Trooper. That is rough. That puts him at 6. No bueno. Alright, let's play Callus. He can hit for 4, so he's not going to be able to take out that Shore Trooper, but he can take out anything else. Which is going to be the Homestead Militia, unfortunately. Because the opponent does have Sentinel. So we'll hit the Militia, deal 4 damage to it, take 3 ourselves. We did not destroy a unique unit, so Callus's ability doesn't trigger. And let's go ahead and attack. So 3 and 4. I think we're gonna have swinging this Short Trooper. We gotta deal with it. I don't like using Leia this way, but it is what it is. Here comes Tactical Advantage. Give him +2/+2 for the phase. Perfect. Let's go. We're going to have Akbar take out this Short Trooper. So he has to, because we just took 7 damage. That's no good. We got to build up here. So. We do get that restore ability with that Restore 1, which is great. Iden's going to hit us for 4, dropping us to 1. Not looking good. Not many more options here. This is going to give it to the opponent. We are going to have to go again. No problem. Swing into the base, and all we can do is take 2. So unfortunately, Home 1 didn't get out soon enough to give us that restore. Even though we were 1 turn ahead, we lose game 2. So. Alright, game 2. I don't really want to make any changes, even though it may be smart to look at a couple things, but you know, it is what it is. Happy to play it. So let's go back. We want to get 3 wins whenever we do sealed, and so this time we're going up against IG-88, Red Black Villain, another one that comes out on turn 5. You may attack with a unit. If you control more units than the defending player, the attacker gets +1 for this attack. So it's all right. All right, well, this one definitely doesn't make the cut, nor does the Fang Fighter. Get rid of both these 2 cards. Play a card for the turn. We're gonna go Green Squadron A-Wing. There isn't much that can take care of that in space yet, so we know it can survive till the next turn. We'll take the initiative and look at the opponent's card here, Admiral Ozzel. So as an action, they can play an Imperial card from their hand. Enters play ready, and each opponent may ready a unit. So best way to stay ahead of this is to kind of go first and make sure you're exhausting your units. So if they do use this ability, you get a benefit from it. So, all right, we do gotta get rid of a card here. Callus is great. It's hard to want to get rid of that. We're so close. So it comes down to the Star Viper and the Partisan Insurgent. Ooh. I think we're gonna go Viper, because we really do want some more Rebel units to take advantage of this ability. First things first, attack. If Admiral Ozzel's out and you go first, attack the base. Don't miss out on the opportunity there for something. All right, they're gonna go ahead and do those things. We will go ahead and play. We do want to go faster, so we're gonna play Sabine. They play a repair to heal their base, which is annoying. And we'll go ahead and take the initiative. They don't control more units than us, so using IG-88's ability is not really going to get them anywhere. They will hit Sabine for 2, though. And we get the Bright Hope, which is great. So we'll play this. The Bright Hope can rescue Sabine. That's probably the right move here. So what we'll do is we'll do an action ability. Trigger to swing with Sabine first. And she's going to go ahead and swing on the base. And then we can attack with another rebel unit. We'll swing with Green Squadron A-Wing. Dropping the opponent's base below 30 finally. And we'll see what the Partisan Insurgent does. Alright, he swings on us for 3. That was the wrong move on them. They should have finished off Sabine. We'll rescue Sabine and we'll get the Bright Hope into play that has Sentinel. Death Trooper has nothing else it can hit in that arena, so it just has to damage one of its own units for 2, which it does. We will take the initiative. At this time, IG does have more units than us, so that Admiral Ozzel hits for 3, but we're still ahead of the game. We got a lot more cards than the opponent, and our board presence is getting a little bit better. And here's our kill spell, which is great. Alright, we're at 5. We can get up to 6 pretty easily, or we can drop 2 more rebel units. We also have Agent Callus to deal with anything. Callus will be good for getting that Admiral Ozzel out of play, as well as getting us another card. So I think that's where we're going to go. Ozzel will come in, or Callus will come in. We'll take down Ozzel. Now, right now, IG-88 can see play, and Callus would have been able to take care of him, but I'd rather have taken care of Ozzel real quick. Really get that extra card in our hand, take advantage of it. We can play Leia this turn as well. Go ahead and attack with our rebel units on the base. Drop him down to 26. Attack with another one. Drop him down to 23. Alright. Here comes IG-88. The opponent does have more units than us, so we're going to take a little bit of damage here. Let's put Leia into play. Ooh, Viper Probe Droid. They were just holding on to some stuff for sure. Leia's going to go ahead and swing, and it's going to swing on Veers. So let's go get rid of this +1/+1 to all Imperial units, like the Death Trooper and the Probe Droid. Opponent will swing with the Partisan Insurgent, hit us for 4. They got 8 more on the board. All we can do is take the initiative and move on. Alright, they drop us to 11. Not looking good. Their board is getting a lot bigger than ours, and we need to move faster. Alright, we have 6 resources. We have a couple of cards here. We do have 1 kill spell, which is important. And Leia can swing with 2 units. Now, she's at 3 health, so she can't take more than 3 damage, and everything over there hits for more than 3. So, tactical advantage is good of keeping her alive. Let's go ahead, and I think we're going to have to swing with Callus. Callus is for 4, so Callus is going to swing on that IG-88. Let's get rid of that raid ability. Now, I think this will trigger our draw mechanic. Nope. No draw mechanic. Oh, we got vanquished. Destroy a non-leader unit. We just got our whole transport electrocuted from the sky. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Alright, well, if we're just starting to kill stuff, let's kill stuff then. Let's dance. Let's dance, homeboy. Boom. IG-88, you oversized GoBot. Undersized GoBot? Undersized GoBot. Alright, we're going to attack with Leia. We're just going to have to clear the board here. Leia's going to swing on the Viper. Moving it from the field. Leia's going to go down 2. Opponent has nothing else to do. We're going to swing with the Green Squadron. Yeah, we'll swing with Green Squadron. On the base there. So we're at 10. The opponent's at 20. We got to catch up. We can hit the resupply, or we can drop in a unit. We're only going to be able to drop 1. I think we drop a unit. Yep, Insurgent it is. And pass. Moving on. All right, this restored ARC is looking all right. So if I dropped home 1 last turn, we would have gotten a little bit further, but we didn't do it, and that is okay. That is sometimes what happens. Let's see here. Oh, let's just trigger Leia's ability first. Attack action, swing with 2 units. Swing here into their own partisan insurgent. Attack with another rebel unit. I want to, but that patrol craft's actually stronger, so we're not. Might as well play the tactical advantage and get the tactical advantage. Swing with the A-wing now. Opponent has nothing else left to do. We really do have them on the ropes. Card advantage, again, wins games. So this did look rough halfway through, but unless the opponent puts out some big ambush thing, then the game is going to be pretty much ours. We're going to flood the board with some more rebel units. That resupply is nice, but we don't really need it yet. We rather flood the board. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, the A-wing died because it had 0 life now. That's what it was. Yep, that makes sense. Let's go ahead and get rid of the sympathize. No, we'll get rid of resupply. We already got 8 to hit that home 1. The goal here is to play home 1 first. It's going to give us all the restore abilities, and we can put a card from our discard pile back into play, which will be this Green Squadron A-wing. Boom. Our base takes 2, but that does not matter because we are about to start healing. Let's use Leia's ability. Attack with rebel units twice. We got to hit hard with something. Attack with another rebel unit, yes. We'll go here. 3 damage on the wing guard. Let's attack with this ship. Get restore 1. Just as a reminder, all of our units have restore 1 because of this great ability from home 1 here, which has restore 2 itself. All right, now Sabine swings. Our base is now at 12. The opponent's base is at 14. We're doing really well here. So, opponent has 2 more cards. There's no reason for us to put anything else into our resource pile. Oh, you have some good things. Opponent plays an ATST, but it is too late. Play a ward ceremony. Select up to 3 rebel units that attack this turn. None of them, because I'm dumb. No problem there. Passing there. Alright, we'll take 2 damage. Again, the opponent doesn't really have anything else they can do. We're going to finish this off. Let's put 2 on the home 1. And we're going to give home 1 tactical advantage for additional 2. And action ability, because we can, swing with a rebel unit twice. Alright, home 1 swings to deal 11 damage, restoring our base by 2. Attack with another unit. We'll go ahead and swing with Miss Wren, finishing it off with the explosive and her own attack. Boom. Boom. Going to game 3. Game 3. Let's do this. So this deck's been okay. First time playing it, Leia was sealed. I'm having fun. Hopefully I'd hear people's comments. Of course, I've made a couple mistakes. Some things could have been better, but I really did kind of force Leia in. There weren't a lot of options here, but I think it's a good idea to see how some of your decks may work in sealed, where you got to play those out of aspect colors, right? So it's always more experience. The more you play the game, the better you're going to get. The more practice you get if you're paying attention and making notes and just, trying cards and seeing where they work, where they don't work. It's going to be really helpful. So our final match is against Grand Moff Tarkin here. 38 on this board, on this location. So it's going to be a little bit hard to take care of the base. Tarkin's ability is he can pay 1 and exhaust to give him an experience token to Imperial unit. Makes him really strong in sealed. Tarkin's a tough one to pass on in sealed. The ability to give any Imperial unit +1/+1, just only with 1 resource, no other penalty. It's really good. So I think it's really great. Let's drop 2 cards here. We're going to drop, I think, Tactical Advantage and the Fang Fighter. That Star Viper can help us out if we end up behind. Our opponent ends up playing Admiral Piet. So getting to 6 is going to be difficult. But Tarkin cannot put a experience token on Piet this turn, which is good. Okay. We got Cantina Braggart. They play a patrol guard. Gross. We will go ahead and attack Admiral Piet with our Braggart. Really don't want to see him on the board. And we can afford to take the damage there. Ooh, here comes that experience token. Let's ramp. Let's get a little further with that resupply. Admiral Piet's going to swing into us. And he takes no damage because the Cantina Braggart has 0 when it's not attacking. Tough, tough, tough. It's going to help me get further, that's for sure. That won't take too much damage, so... Gosh. I guess we're going to drop the Viper since it's not a rebel unit. We're going to draw a card, and we're going to play a unit. So draw 2. They'll play another V-Wing. Wow, this Tarkin deck is solid. So their card advantage has been much better. They're going pretty widespread, which is good. And there really isn't anything else for us to do. We can play Leia, right? Yeah, we can deploy Leia this turn. You know what? I think we're going to. Leia can take care of Admiral Piet. If they don't swing with Piet this turn... Oh, they just put a resource on him. Okay. So Piet's going to hit for 3, but Piet only can take 4 more damage. Gross. All right. We don't want Piet in play because they'll just keep getting stronger and stronger. And again, we don't really want to see a fancy ambush card like an ATSD. Let's take the initiative. There we go. Some good cards here. Let's get rid of the Insurgent. Yeah, no, we'll get rid of the Battlefield Marine. All right, 6 unit cards in play. They only have 1 cost cards over there. We can drop the Bright Hope and really take advantage of this, and I think that's something we're probably going to do. Let's swing first, though. We'll swing with Leia. Swing with the Partisan Insurgent, dropping them down to 33, putting a little pressure there. Out comes the Emperor's Royal Guard. Tarkin can come into play on turn 5, so Tarkin's definitely going to hit play this turn. Callus can come in there and hit Tarkin for 4, but won't be able to do anything else other than that. You know what? I'm just going to Rebel Insurgent. Let's put 3 experience tokens on our Rebel units. Tarkin puts an experience token on his TIE Fighter. That's fine. We'll hit the Royal Guard with the open fire. Hit him for 4. Out comes Greedo, and we're going to play another Partisan Insurgent. And out comes Grand Moff Tarkin, which means now when the opponent attacks, they're going to give an experience token to another Imperial unit. They do have that spaceport up there that's getting more threatening, but we do have the Bright Hope with initiative next turn. So the Bright Hope will come into play with Sentinel. He'll be able to absorb some of these attacks. Now a lot of these attacks are small except for that TIE Fighter. So as far as the TIE Fighter goes, we'll need a different option to deal with that. Something more like Admiral Akbar, but we need a couple more spaceships. The ARC is okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. But we got to get rid of something. So we have a 4 and a 5. Let's go ahead and play this 4. No, let's attack. Yes. We'll swing into Tarkin with our experience token, dealing 5 there and taking 2 ourselves. Attack with another Rebel unit. We're going to swing into Greedo with our Pathfinder Insurgent. And we should be able to bounce our Insurgent. Yeah, just like that. Here comes Boba Fett. No problem. Play the Bright Hope. Return the Partisan to our hand. And we draw a card. Bright Hope gives us Sentinel. Tarkin swings on Leia. Both are removed from the field. No problem. Leia's already used her ability. And that's great. We'll put out another threat with the Ardent Sympathizer. And this TIE Fighter is going to have to swing into our Bright Hope. And they'll both be destroyed. We'll be able to take down... No, only one destroyed. Wow. Hit for 2, plus 2 more, so 4. Yeah, we're going to keep Boba off the field. Swing there. And out comes a Mining Guild TIE Fighter. Great and limited play. Really good. Let's take the initiative. We will lose the Bright Hope to a V-Wing. And that's going to be the way it is. It did its job, but that TIE Fighter is getting too strong. And out comes a Snapshot Reflexes, dropping us to 19. All right, we're going to keep all the cards in hand. I guess we could have done something, but Cal's is going to come into play first. Trigger the ambush ability. Let's draw a card by destroying Boba Fett, giving us a couple of options there. Giving us another ARC. That opponent is just getting stronger and stronger. Let's play the Infiltrator skill on the Ardent Sympathizer, raising its attack. All right, we do have the initiative, so let's take advantage and hit hard. 6, dropping to 27. We got to find a way of dealing with this TIE Fighter. All we can do is take the initiative and take another 1 damage. See what the opponent's going to do here. They did draw another card, and out comes a Viper Droid. We're at 10, they're at 27. Options are not looking good without more Sentinel. Alright, let's... I don't know. 10 is not good. They can definitely get through us. We need some answers, but I don't think we're going to find it. So we'll play Green Squadron A-Wing. Opponent swings to the TIE Fighter, hitting us for what? 6? Gross. We gotta swing. Alright. Mining Guild will probably swing on us and they'll draw a card, dealing 1 damage. Yep. Go ahead and play Academy Training on this Green Squadron A-Wing in case I got to hit a little bit harder. No, that's game right there. They were able to upgrade the V-Wing that came out in turn 1 and just give it a smuggling department +1/+1. You will now be taken to the sealed mode page. We were defeated. That is 2 losses. This is the first time that's happened. That's the first time that has happened to me, and of course it happens on the stream where I lose, and that's all right. So that's part of the game. That's part of the fun of it all. You know, we really wanted to do a Leia deck and go from there. Alternatively, what we probably should have built, we could have gone easily Boba Fett, a yellow-black. Let's take a look what we could have played. Would have had the Bossk and would have had a playset of options. We could have gone yellow, black, red, and we would have seen Subblock Guard, Death Star Stormtroopers, Palpatine. We could have taken advantage of the Insurgents. We would have had Syndicate Lackeys, all good cards. Yellow, black, red would also give us these Outer Rim Headhunters, 7th Fleet Defenders, the TIE Fighter to kind of draw some more cards, and these TIE Fighters here. Playset of TIE Advances. So yellow, black, red would have been a better play, but it's all good. This is all for fun. That's why we do this, and that's why I'm here every Saturday. So join me Saturdays. Join me occasionally on Tuesdays. You can always subscribe to follow along or know when I'm streaming. But yeah, really glad for everyone who's been watching this video, who hopped in and out, had a lot of fun. Always feel free to say something in the chat.